Hello and welcome to the first ever broadcast of the Emotional Hustle. I'm Julie and I've been teaching mindfulness for about 5 years. What I've come to realise is that mindfulness has been such a powerful enabler, and it's really been the vehicle for helping me to unpack lots of other stuff along the way. Now, before we get into that, what I'd like you to do is try and cast your mind back, try and rewind all of those years back to the age of when you were about 4 or 5. Now, I know for some of us that takes a little bit longer, so just bear with, just take your time and really see if you can get into that mindset. So we've wound back the clock, we're 4 or 5 years old, and I want you to think about how you felt about the world, the bigger world, the moon, the stars, how we got here as human beings. Whether you felt curious, surprised, saw it as some sort of miracle, whether you wanted to know all the answers. Now, I can remember absolutely torturing my teachers. I had so many questions, and one of my favourites was, if God created the world, who created God? So my teacher would look at me and she'd say, yes, very good, Julia, and she'd send us all out to play, and that was the end of that. The really weird thing about that experience was the way I internalized it. And I had this sense that everybody else knew how the universe worked, and it was just me. And it was so obvious that nobody could be bothered to explain it to me. That was the way I internalized that situation. And it made me feel a little bit stupid. So I stopped asking questions and just got on with life. So the really funny thing is that until I started preparing for this broadcast, I didn't realise that I was holding on to that crazy mindset. And as I've got a little bit older, just a little bit, I've realised that actually this big secret that I thought everybody knew doesn't really exist. And what's even funnier is that when it comes to energy, the universe, all of that important stuff that impacts every single one of us every day, nobody's got any of the answers. We've all got theories, and these theories are changing all of the time. You can't go and pick up a book that says, this is life, this is how life works. So I know in the West, we always go to science. We've got a big faith in science, but even the science is still evolving. So since I've started coaching mindfulness and working with people and working with minds and emotions, it's opened up an entirely new world of curiosity around this whole topic. And we're living in an age, we're really lucky to be living at this time, because all of the holistic experience that people have in the fields of energy and Reiki and the scientific world in terms of neuroscience and quantum physics, all of that is starting to join up. And the Eastern traditional cultures and philosophies are starting to merge with the scientific cultures of the West. So we're in a really, really interesting time where I think we're going to get some answers on some of this stuff. And I personally think it's going to be a fascinating time to be alive and experience some of this stuff when it gets uncovered. So this is what we're going to be doing on the Emotional Hustle. We're going to be trying to unpack some of this stuff. So we'll be asking the questions, what is energy? Why do we feel so great one minute and not so great the next? What is human vibration? Keep it clean. Does the law of attraction work? And what can we learn from talking to a jar of rice? Yep, that actually happened. That's coming up in one of the episodes, and I'll be going into why I spent 6 weeks talking to rice. Now, I will be doing some research in the background. I know some of you think I make this stuff up, but I do research it, and I can really do with your help. If you're in the field of energy, or you're interested in the vibration, emotions, anything like that, and you think you've got something to add, then come along and we can have an interview and we can just jazz it up a bit so people aren't just listening to me all of the time. So if you work in this field or you're just interested in this sort of stuff, then just get in touch and we can put some sessions together. Now, before we get into all of that, I'm going to talk about something that I do know a lot about, and that's mindfulness and stress. So that's coming up on the next episode, 11 things that you want to know about mindfulness and stress. And maybe you don't want to know, so you don't have to watch, but that's the focus of the next episode. So whatever it is that you're doing this week, do take care, and I'll see you soon.